are all together on that. I would wish for your confirmation that the financial report for this period that it was approved by the steering committee. Your confirmation.
Yes, I confirm.
You can confirm, eh? And you can confirm that the steering committee is composed of the following members as enlisted in page 5, Roman 5. That it is His Excellency Mathara, the Deputy Governor. It is yourself, Achira, the CCM. It is the Honorable Mary Commanded, the CEC for Finance. It's Honorable Juliana, the member for CEC Health. John Thuo, the County Director. Josia Nyandoro, County Director. Moses Mathenge, the CBO's representative. Elizabeth Muthoni, the Women Representative. Collins Maina, the Youth Representative. Martin Mwenja, who represent the private sector. And Jerry Jeroge, the Chief Officer then for the FAD, for water. Can confirm that those are the people who approved the financial reports. I would also want you to confirm I'm told that you are not putting on your mic. I really would want you to keep confirming on these items. I also want you to confirm that you know the functions of the steering committee.
Yes, I do.
In relation to the Climate Change Act.
Yes, I do.
I want to draw your attention to your letter dated the 18th of August 2025. That letter serves as a notification of expiry of term for the Nyandarua Climate Change Steering Committee, which you wrote to Muthoni, to Collins, to allow me to go back. You wrote to Martin, Collins, Elizabeth, and Mathenge. You remember such kind of a letter coming from your head, CC?
I remember.
Dated the 18th August. It's important to note these dates. Dated the 18th of August 2025. You confirm that you quoted, actually I can read it for just one of the letters for you. The above matter refers, which is notification of expiry of term under the Nyandarua Climate Change Steering Committee. The above matter refers the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act 2021, Section 10, 11, and 12 provides that there is established a steering committee whose function and composition of the committee under Section 13 further outlines the terms of office for members within the committees by virtue of their nomination. I would want you to confirm that by this letter, you terminated the service of specifically Elizabeth Muthoni on 14th August 2020. No, 2025.
That is true.
You confirm. I would want you to also confirm that in May, I also would want you to confirm that on 16th of May 2025, you received a copy that was also copied to the governor and the deputy governor of complaints by the then steering committee, which was signed by Collins Kinandu, Elizabeth Wajira, Moses Mathenge, on failure by the climate change unit, herein referred to as the management, of involving them in the day-to-day learning of climate change responsibilities as guaranteed by the Nyandarua Climate Change sections 10 under subsections 12(1), K and L.
Kindly come again. I get the details, please.
I'm saying you also confirm that you are privy that the membership drawn from outside the government officials of the climate change unit wrote to this assembly and copied to the governor and to the deputy governor, who is your chair, and signed by Collins Kinandu, Elizabeth Wajira Muthoni, Moses Mathenge, and that they had the following complaints. Complaint number 1, that lack of transparency in crucial climate change fund decisions making process contrary to section 11A, E, and H of the Nyandarua Climate Change Act 2021. Two, altering of word projects without the committee approval contrary to section 11C of the Climate Change Act 2011. 3, convening steering committee meetings and making crucial decisions in our absence, that is in the absence of the 4 members, contrary to section 16(3) of the Nyandarua Climate Change Act 2021. Number 4, non-follow-ups on recommendations contrary to section 11C and K of the Nyandarua Climate Change Act 2021. And number 5, lack of financial transparency contrary to section 11C and D of the Climate Change Act 2021. And lastly, number 6, presentation of annual report without steering committee approval contrary to section 11(1) of the Climate Change Act, read together with section 9 and 9(2). That confirm that your chair, because the letters are copied, they were written to the county assembly, the committee of water, but copied to the governor and copied to the deputy governor. Confirm as your chair, he communicated to you that there is such kind of a complaint.
Yes, I remember we chaired that. He communicated to me, though verbally, because they never copied the write-up to me.
But once they copy to the chair of a committee, the expectation is that that letter is supposed to be for the committee.
Yes.
So the committee have never adjudicated itself to this matter.
We discussed it.
Discussed.
Yes.
Am I wrong to say that at what time did you realize that the committee term has expired? You wrote the letters on the 18th of August 2025. At what time did you note that their term has expired?
That is early August.
Early August.
Yes.
But you also note that their complaint of non-involvement is 16th May 2025. You say there's no marriage, there's no coincidence in that.
There is no
Which
marriage.
law did you rely on to determine the termination date?
The law is very clear, and I can give the director the chance to expound on that.
That's okay.
Thank you. Through the chair and the Waziri, I think the appointment of those members was based on the National Climate Change Act 2016, Section 19, which stipulates the mainstreaming of the Climate Change Act and in the county levels. So they were appointed on August 2020, and based on that law, their term was to expire on August 2025, 14th. Because if our guideline was, the law does not apply retrogressively. Yes, so we could only base the appointment on the law which appointed them, the National Climate Change 2016.
What does the letter of termination, which law does it quote? Does it quote the national one? Does it quote the Nyandarua Climate Act?
It quotes the Nyandarua Climate Change Act.
Are you able to terminate somebody's appointment on a different law than the one that appointed him. If you're saying that we could not go retrogressively, we could not go back, don't you think that then in your termination what you should have quoted should have been the law that appointed the same people?
Yeah, sure, it should have been the law which appointed the same people.
By the fact that they probably are not in office, into quotes, in the fact that there is a letter of termination addressed and quoting the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act. Do you think we should rely with the County County Nyandarua Climate Change Act? Which date was it enacted? The Nyandarua County Climate Change Act?
May 2021.
1st of May. If the law you are quoting to be able to terminate an employment or an appointment of somebody, do we have the clause on this new law on what was to happen to the membership which was already drawn?
There was an oversight on that. In the Act, there is no clause on what will happen to the existing members. If that one was there, it could have guided as well. And I think the legal team will stand to guide us.
I would want it to be noted that as a committee, we are relying on the letter of termination that was given by the minister, which quotes the Climate Change Act. And for that reason, as far as we are concerned, the steering committee is still in force, considering that the law was enacted on 31st of May, and therefore the lapse of 5 years would have been 31st again of May in 2026, which we are not yet there. For that reason, the committee ought to be in office. But there's something interesting. You terminated the services of these people on 14th of August. When did you prepare the financial reports? Maybe the Fad and Min can assist. Okay, I may not necessarily tell you. When did you prepare the financial reports which you took to the Auditor General?
Check that, Director. (28th October 2025).
20th October 2025.
Yes.
And you dismissed by your letter the committee on?
18th August 2025.
So by your own letter, you have terminated the services of the steering committee, specifically the membership down there, which is appointed from the public. But you have done a report in October, and you have communicated under oath that these financial reports are approved by that steering committee, which you dismissed in August.
Maybe through the chair. There's an annual report that was prepared, which I would request the team, the climate change team, to probably produce a copy of the minutes, which states the people who were seated in the meeting during the approval. Through the chair.
Let me rephrase the question first. We are on dates. You prepared your financial report on 27th of October. It is the date marked as the date of approval. You dismissed the committee that is supposed to approve on 14th of August. Did you do a letter to firstly call them back for purposes of approval of the financial statements?
No, we did not call them back, but there was quorum.
When the law was being done, and your technical people can come in here, do you think there was critical reason to have external members of public who are not in government to serve in the board? Did you think there was a basis, a reason why we have people who are not working in the government and who are not technical to be sitting on that board?
Yeah, it's very important.
Would you say by approving financial statements in the absence of the people it's supposed to present the public, because essentially these people are being brought from the public for purposes of that, when you say you have technical people, because all the other members are there by the virtue of the positions they hold in government, do you think they could constitute fully a quorum in the absence of the public? In the spirit of the law that determined the composition of the steering committee?
The quorum was there. It is important that they ought to have been represented, but then we had to follow the law that appointed them. So we could have made wrong by extending their stay there.
You terminated their services on 14th August 2025. Have you since then appointed around or communicated to the governor for appointment?
Yes, I communicated to the governor, and in fact, even last week we discussed about the 3 appointees.
Do you have the letter you wrote? We would be interested with the date you wrote to the governor.
Okay, I don't have it here, but I can provide it by tomorrow.
Do you think that it is proper that since August to date, you have deliberately, because it's deliberately, allowed this committee to sit, make decisions without consideration by the representative of the public, and confirm whether it is deliberate?
It's not deliberate. And last week we discussed these appointees with the governor, and we are going to ensure that they are brought on board.
Please confirm on oath that Mary Kamande, Juliana Soweau, and John Thuo of the Meteorological Department, of NEMA, Josiah Nyandoro of NEMA, attended that meeting of this approval. I want to repeat that you confirm.
Director, you can confirm that for me. You have the minutes.
And can you present the same minutes of approval? I don't think you should be reading it. You sat in those meetings. You know the people who attended the meeting of approval. Do you think our meeting of approval of financial statement is an important meeting? Would it lapse? Would it for some reason, would you forget who were in that meeting?
Honorable Chair, we cannot remember offhand, but from the minutes, Josiah Nyandoro was present, Mary Kamande had given an apology, and Martin Mwenja, the private sector representative, had also given an apology.
So in the absence of Mwenda and Kamande and Martin and Collins and Elizabeth and Moses, you still had quorum?
Through the chair, apology is taken as presence.
What constitutes a quorum? And I want to repeat, does a financial statement mean anything? I can see your accountant. Does it mean anything? A financial statement from where I sit is the representation of facts on how you did spend in excess of 200 plus million. You don't think it is a meeting that can wait for the membership to be there? When you realize that you don't have a requisite quorum because of other people have asked. How many times have Soweau sat in these meetings?
Director, check, you have the minutes there.
And I want to remind everybody that you're on oath, and we want this to be factual.
Come again, Mheshimiwa.
How many meetings have the CEC for Health sat on climate change discussions?
Unless we refer from the minutes, we cannot say it off-head.
Do you recall one? She was there?
Yes, on 26 September 2025, Honorable Juliana Sinanga was present.
I just wanted to be noted that from where we sit as a committee, that the approval processes of the financial year that were taken to the Auditor General were not properly approved until otherwise proven by the membership. This begs the other question.
Chair, before you proceed, through the chair, I want to read an AI presentation here regarding the question you just asked regarding apology, absence with apology, constituting a quorum. Now read. It starts with a capital no. An absent with apology, in quotes, member cannot constitute a quorum for a meeting, as a quorum refers specifically to the minimum number of members actually present to make the proceedings valid. So for the purpose of capturing that position in Hansard and being factual to the letter, I would ask probably the question be taken and be answered appropriately, whether that meeting proceedings can be deemed to have been going on with requisite quorum, not based on members who are absent. Can that probably be confirmed again, that you held a meeting without quorum on the basis of apology? Thank you.
I'm sure the CSCC have heard.
Well, following that interpretation, it then means there was no quorum.
Please confirm that you read yourself personally. You went through this report.
I went through it.
Confirm that you read the contents on page 5 under Counter Climate Change Steering Committee, and you are versed with the Counter Climate Change Steering Committee membership as at the date 27th. Specifically, to make it easier, confirm that being the author of the letter of termination of Martin Mwenja, Collins, and Elizabeth and Mathenge, that you saw their name on a report that is official, and you knew that they were no longer representing this committee, and you read this report and you let it pass. Because you are the person who terminated the appointments of these people.
Yes, the financial year ends on 30th June 2025 when they were on board.
When did you sign the approval of the financial statement? You can be assisted, it is there. It's 27th of October. What you are signing on 27th of October and what the committee is supposed to do is a meeting on the 27th of October, which is the one that took them through the financial reports as prepared by the accountant and the chief officer in charge, and they agreed to the contents of that report and on their behalf and signed their financial reports. So you are confirming that on the 27th of October, there was a sitting in which Moses Mathenge, Elizabeth Muthoni, Collins Maina, and Martin Mwenja approved, because this Counter Steering Committee, as at the time of approval, is what we are asking. Who were the membership who approved it? There's no way your membership could have approved when you have terminated their work.
Chief Officer Jerry, expound that.
Okay, thank you, Chair and Waziri. Maybe just to mention the presentation of the FSN annual report followed whatever is provided as a template. And the reason my Waziri is mentioning that the report was prepared as at the end of the 30th June when the steering committee members' term was still on. So it was more of a capture other than providing that they were present in the approval of the FS. So whatever the content of the FS captured the members who were there as at the end of June 2025. That's what I wanted to clarify.
When you say, and I report, the County Climate Change Steering Committee members who had a direct role in the oversight of the fund, I want you to read verbatim below the names you have listed. You have said County Climate Change Steering Committee. The County Climate Change Steering Committee members who had a direct role in the oversight of the fund during the financial year. Before we come to the content of the letter, and it is now good that you're confirming that, let the clerkship confirm that it is noted that the reason why these names are here is because the steering committee was available within that particular financial year. So that later we can come to the content of the letter, which shows that they have not been involved in any manner, and that the meetings they have been called are always called for purposes of signatures but not for decision making. That is a different discussion for a different day. And I also want that the clerk admit this particular letter dated the 16th of May 2025, which was written to the clerk. I want it admitted in the proceedings of PICPAC as a part of the document that PICPAC can follow a little later after this.
Yes, kindly, as they clarify, just a small clarification there. On the minutes of the County Steering Committee, can you confirm that those minutes were signed by the Deputy Governor? Waziri, were those steering committee meetings signed by the Deputy Governor?
Yes.
Now, just help me to understand, of the 3 signatures that appear in the reports, which one belongs to the Deputy Governor? The signature in the minutes, the signature forwarding the report, or the signature in the letter in the report itself? There are 3 different signatures, all under Honorable Madhara Mwangi. There is the first signature on the letter to the clerk of the county assembly to the county secretary. You can note the signature for the Honorable Madhara Mwangi. Then there is another signature where he writes the forward for the county annual climate change report and a different signature for the minutes. So which Madhara Mwangi is the one that signed this report?
I can see only one signature for His Excellency Madhara Mwangi, the chairperson.
On which page, on which letter, Waziri? Can you see the page on the forward, the Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for financial year 24-25? After the table of contents, you have the forward where the Deputy Governor has signed and the acknowledgement by you. You are on the same page. The forward by the deputy governor and then the acknowledgement by you.
The letter dated 30th September 2025. I see this is presented Madara's Mwangi's signature.
And you're saying this same signature is the one that appears in all documents for Madara Mwangi. This is the same signature that even appears on the minutes. Waziri, are you seeing the minutes signed on the 26th of September? The minutes for the county steering committee approval minutes of an annual report. The signature of the deputy governor. Is that the same signature as the one that appears on the letter of that year?
I can confirm this is Madara Mwangi who signed it.
And Waziri, are you saying those are the same signatures?
Would be a short signature. Maybe it's his short signature, but I can recall very clearly him making the signature.
You can recall,
Yes.
but he decided to sign differently.
Chair, I think the issue of the signature, it is only the one of the specimen who can confirm. Waziri may not be in a position to confirm that.
Yes, Chair. You know, we are trying as much to verify this document, whether they are true record, and probably what the director has purported to say is different because somebody is at oath, and he has just clarified that it is the very same signature. So he is completely out of order. And Chair, if you look at the approval, there is this approved CCRIG work plan and the CCIS work plan for financial year 2024-2025. You have that record? Dated 23rd May 2024. In the file, the first beginning page. Financial year 23rd May 2024. If you look at it, there is approved by His Excellency the Governor, Nyandarua County, and there is a signed signature. Is it the very same signature with the very same signature Honorable Muidi is trying to say, to ask you?
This one is for His Excellency the Governor.
Oh, for the Governor.
Yes.
Correct. I start to be guided.
Mohedi, I don't know whether you are satisfied with your question. So let just be noted that there will be need for the chair of this committee at a later date be called in to explain the discrepancies between his three different signatures. You okay with that? So Waziri, I wish to draw your attention to Page 18, Roman 18. In Roman 18, and at the last paragraph, I would want to read it. It says the FAD remained compliant with statutory requirements under the Public Finance Management Act 2012, the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act 2021, and the Nyandarua County Climate Change Action Plan 2023-2027. I would want to know why you left out regulations as a reference to your compliance, and so that you can enjoin it, confirm whether you have regulations that govern the FAD.
Director, expound on that.
Thank you, Chair. Through Waziri. Currently, we don't have the regulations. They are waiting for application, then be brought to this house for enactment. Yeah.
You confirm that you don't have a regulation.
Yes.
Can you confirm that this is to Waziri? Can you confirm that you are assessed of the resolutions of the County Assembly? Give me a copy of that resolution. It's a copy of a resolution of the County Assembly. When you had brought the other financial statement, among the resolutions was within 60 days, you will be able to have provided us with within 60 days that we are able to have provided regulations. As I get a copy of the date on that resolution, somebody can check out. 60 days have since lapsed, even as they check the date for official communication. Why did you not oblique to the resolution of the County Assembly? I want the date.
Okay. The resolution is dated 6th, it was signed on 6th day of December 2023 by the Speaker.
So there is a not a recommendation, actually, a resolution that the FAD be ensure that we have regulations sometimes in December of 2023. Now we are in February 2026. Where are the regulations? Why are they not there?
Director, I tasked you to follow up on the regulations, and they are complete. Expound on what is the problem.
Thank you, Chair. Through Waziri, we are very aware of those resolutions, and we acted on them partially because we drafted the regulation to do the CC finance, but it was being affected by the amendment bill, the climate change amendment bill, because we are changing the percentage which the county should allocate. So the Lingo team, including Kainga, advised us that the amendment bill must be passed first for the regulation to come. And the amendment bill, I think it has been tabled in this house. We brought it in this house.
Is there an official communication to the response of your requirement on the resolution of the House?
And let me look for the correspondence.
Mwanzia is a yes or no. The moment you realize that there is amendments which are affecting the resolutions, because you have a resolution, did you write back through the county secretary informing the county assembly that you are unable to operationalize that resolution and the reason for which you are unable to operationalize that resolution?
We did not do that, because we are expecting the amendment bill will be enacted
for
before
purposes of movement,
before the lapse of the 60 days.
Let the clerks note that the administration of climate change be found to be in contempt of the resolutions of the assembly, and accordingly the committee on implementation be allowed to pick up the matter from there. But I'm interested in page 4. Waziri, go to page 4 of the auditor's report. Under the basis for conclusion, under the subheading excess expenditure on administrative costs above set limit, I want to read for you verbatim. Review of expenditure records revealed the FAD incurred administration expenses of Kenya shilling 16 million against total expenditure of Kenya shilling 60 million, translating to 27%, which is way above the set limits of 4%. This is contrary to Regulation 9.2 of the Nyandarua Climate Change Funds, Regulation 24. Where did the auditor get regulations which he is quoting?
The FAD accountant, please, Phoebe, you can answer that.
Through the chair, I would want to read that the quotation that the Auditor General quoted here, the Climate Change Funds Regulations 2024, what we provided was the Act for 2021. So for the regulations for 2021, sorry. So probably it is an error, but I wouldn't want to confirm that, because what we provided was for 2021.
You confirm that you provided the auditor the regulations, whether they are 2024 or 2021. Can you confirm that you provided regulations, but you confirm that they were 2021, not 24?
Yes.
Kahinga, are you able to confirm the position of the regulations that were there in 2021? What happened with them? Do you note that the resolution which was coming to allow you to present the regulations was because as at the time of that report you did not have regulations? Do you know the procedure of making a regulation noted in the assembly? Did that regulation of the regulation 2021, was it presented to the clerk? Do you have a received copy by the clerk?
Director, you can check on that.
I think it is only the CC Finance who presented them can tell us that. As you know, we don't have any letter received by the clerk.
Chair.
Yes.
I think it's getting very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. We're looking at Auditor General report for the year ending 30th June 2025. What I find a bit unacceptable is for the team to claim to be using regulations for 2021. Yet they are Nyandarua County Climate Change Funds. This is a regulation that is within the county. Does it mean you're using a regulation for 2021, oblivious of the fact that there are revised regulations for 2024 on a report that's supposed to be a year later, which is 2025? Why would you be looking at regulations which are already overtaken by times, rather than using the current regulations? Any reason? Were you aware? Were you in the county? Kindly.
Director, you can answer that.
We don't have any other regulation in 2024. There was no regulation for the year 2024.
So let it be noted again that in the mispresentation of facts, the steering committee with the technical team presented the long information to the Auditor General.
But even then, Chair, just to agree with you, I mean, how would such an answer surface to be put that the team that is in office is fully oblivious of an existence of an updated regulation and appearing before this Honorable House? Is that answer, do you find it, Director, satisfactory to present to this committee? that you're not aware of the existence of a regulation that is newer or recent, 2024, and you're relying on 2021. I mean, what answer would you give that is satisfactory, rather than so that we don't appear to be jokers?
Chair, I think we don't prepare regulation every financial year. Regulations are prepared once, and if there is need for update, they update. I think the legal team can guide us. So the ones we have been using, they are the one for 2021.
Director, through the chair, are you aware of the Auditor General's report that says that are you aware of the existence of regulations 9.2 of Nyandarua County Climate Change Funds Regulation for 2024? Are you aware of the existence of such regulations from where you sit as the director? Are you aware? Do they exist or do they not?
They do not exist.
They don't exist?
Yes.
Thank you. So I think from the committee side, and Kahiga, you there, kindly address this committee that they exist or they don't, so that we're able to move on. If they do, then the department is not aware, and therefore citing them probably is something that we also need to look at. If they exist, then we know what to do. Thank you.
Chair, the regulations for the Climate Change Fund 2024, they have not been approved by the Assembly or brought to the Assembly. So we can't say they exist.
On that account only, the fact that they are not approved by the County Assembly, who is the originator of the regulations? Is it the County Assembly or the Executive? Could you confirm, beside them not being approved by the Assembly, that the department did draft regulations and forward them to the Assembly? That much.
They are unable to confirm, of course. For purposes of record, this is supposed to be the order. When the executive drafts regulations, they are forwarded to the clerk, and the clerk forwards that particular business to the county assembly, the House business for slotting as a business. Once it is slotted as a business, the speaker communicates the availability of such a regulation and directs it to the relevant committee. The committee has one room to reject. If it does not reject, it automatically becomes law within 28 days. Did you do that? So that we, in the interest of time, we can agree that they did not. I think when the committee is preparing the report, those are the issues probably they will note. Mheshimiwa Kayani, are we able to proceed?
I was just confirming something from the desk, and I'm aware that there were regulations that were provided to the Auditor General. Maybe for the purpose of being able to conclude this matter, one confirmation from the team is whether regulation 2021 is cited. What does it provide for as the limit for what should be used for this very purpose? What limit was provided? Is there 4%? And for the 4%, what amount was that? Does it conform? If we were to assume 24 does not exist, the 4% that is provided for, does it satisfy the amount that you expended? Fund manager, through the chair.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Through Waziri,
Whatever was provided was the regulations for 2021 that in terms of how it was quoted, it talks about the 9.2 talks about expenditure in respect to administrative costs shall not exceed 4% of the total payments out of the fund in any financial year. Maybe something else that I should confirm is that in respect to the 2024 regulations, they had been drafted, of course, in collaboration with the finance as the...
Chair, let's take this slowly. I think Chief, you're a bit too fast. Dealing with the two things. The first question was, if we assume that you use regulations for 2021, did you conform to the requirement that you don't exceed the 4%?
Yes, we can provide the figures because how it was captured, the admin cost was is usually attached to the investment grant because the funds that we actually received are two levels. There's a county institutional support grant and there was an investment grant. So whatever was quoted, if I may get the report, they spoke about out of the 16 million, sorry, out of the, how the auditor captured was that the fund administration expenses of 16.5 again is the total expenditure of 60, translating to 27%, which is way above the set the 4%. Perhaps maybe to clarify, this 16.5, I was talking about the two levels of grant, the institutional support and the investment. Administrative costs are largely alluded to the investment grant, which is the investment monies. So you'll find that the 16 million, there was 11 million that had been provided by FLOCA as the institutional support grant. There was also the 2 million that was a county contribution, part of the institutional support grant. So whatever was expended as the admin cost in regard to now the investment grant, that is the 104, was about 3 million. Was about 3 million, Chair. So in percentage, it was coming to about 3.27%.
Okay, maybe that could also be cross-checked. But if you could proceed on the next thing you are referring to the regulations, I would love to hear about that.
Kayani, sorry. Respectively, Kayani, if you agree, I'll just so that we can conclude on the question on admissibility of the financial report. I would want to draw the attention of the FAD admin to Roman 23. Add a statement of management responsibilities, under which I would want to read verbatim for, if you're there. The administrator of the county public fund is responsible for the preparation and presentation of FAD's financial statements, which give a true, fair view of the state of affairs of the fund as at the end of the financial year ended on June 30th, 2025. I just want to repeat that because she's just come in. The administrator of the county public fund is responsible for the preparation and presentation of the fund's financial statement, which give a true, fair view of the state of affairs. Would you confirm that you satisfy yourself in terms of from approvals to presentation of figures to presentation of data, that this is a true and fair view of the state of affairs?
Through the chair, yes, I can confirm.
And that you allow the committee to, if it were to find anything contrary to that, could rely on section 199 of the PFMA Act. Are you conversant with that section?
Yeah, I keep reminding myself on a day-to-day basis.
What does it talk about?
I can always refer.
What does the section 199 talk about? Okay, you may not know it of it. That is for the purposes of the committee. It's the one that needs to rely on what the section 149 and 199 say about failure to present reports on time, failure to present a report that is approved. And on that question, let's go back to that question you were dealing with. Did you have a closing meeting with the auditors?
We had.
Did you explain what you're explaining here to them?
Yes, we did.
And they again raised the same question.
Yeah, we actually had equally provided a management response at the time.
Do you confirm that out of possible out of possible 186,537,952, which was monies available for you for development, do you confirm that you only spent 60,319,109 for that financial year? That would help you at page 5 of the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts. Total income which you literally received was 186 million, but you spent 60.
Yes, through the chair, I confirm.
Can we say that when we are referring to an administrative cost, an administrative cost is the cost you incur while you are trying to operationalize development? True or false?
Yeah, true.
Do you confirm that you spent 16,501 to operationalize 60,319?
What I wish to confirm through the chair is what I was actually mentioning in regard to, the admin cost being the fund that is attached to an investment, because the 16 million is, okay, the case is not really to operationalize the whole budget, because right from the beginning, there was some funds that had been provided for.
For clarity, Jerry.
Okay.
Sorry, CEO. For clarity, 60 million is what you are referring to, that is the money that is going to development. This investment is a question of the items that you bought, like, say, for example, the car and all that. They are the items that are assisting you in the process of this. Are you saying that you have other extra costs that you have incurred at the investment that are outside the cost, administrative costs that you have incurred while carrying out actual development? Do I rephrase my question?
Please do.
When you are talking of investments, I can see a figure of 43 million. Sorry. Your statement on income or something. So there is the net cash flows used in investing activities, which is a total of 43,816. So we can say this is what you have spent, but they're not necessarily directly going to development, like now boreholes, like the work that you are doing, isn't it? What is the administrative cost? Let's simplify it in the now. To me, Kiingereza is haina maneno ya hesabu. What is an administrative cost?
I can give that to Director Mwanzia, but what I can confirm is that this 43 was going to the development, but the director can clarify on the admin cost. Thank you.
Through the chair, thank you. I think admin cost is the money used to run the daily activities of the fund.
Yes, and the day-to-day activities, daily activities of the fund is operationalization of development which has been given to the department, isn't it? So I rephrase my question. You spent 16,500,000 to enable you to carry out development of 60 million. Do you find the prudent utilization of public fund in that?
Maybe, Chair, as he answers, Like, for example, you bought 8 laptops for 3 million. Was it part of that we are now discussing the 16 million?
Chair, you know, just to have on Muhede, you take that question. You said, for example, are you saying they bought three laptops for 3 million? Did I hear you right?
No,
If you
the
could.
financial reports, you bought 8 laptops plus, is it a digital camera at 3.4 million? That is according to your own financial statements. Let me just get to that. Laptops, 8 laptops plus 1 digital camera at 3.918, 140 and 70 cents. That is monitoring, evaluation, reporting, and learning. It's component 2 of environmental compliance and social performance. In the financial report,
It would be interesting to get a breakdown on that, because these laptops are not that expensive to cost $1 million plus.
okay, problem is it's not numbered, but I can tell you that report, Waziri, the Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for financial year 24-25. One, you have the table of contents, list of abbreviations, the forward, the acknowledgement. As you go forward in that report, that is where you'll find the supply of the field vehicle Isuzu, 6.868 million. Then the laptops. And you have indicated as financial year 2024-25 achievement. 8 laptops supplied, 1 digital camera among other accessories at 3.918 million. So is it part of now that what you're saying, the administrative expenses, or this was taken from the 43 million for development?
Director?
I can't confirm what Mheshimiwa is saying unless I see the file, eh? But what CEO Jerry is saying is this, out of the 16 million, there was 11 million which was on grant by itself from FROCA. And that one, it had its own work plan, and it was to be used for only one's activities, like training the ward committees and the other issues. That was a grant, and it had its own work plan. Then we had the 2 million for the county contribution, which was also part of the CCI's grant. For it is a grant with these conditions in areas which it can be used. It was not purposely used for the running of the development investments.
So we are
Point where he says he cannot confirm. You have stated here that you are part of the management committee and you are running up to the report. I am not telling you of any other report. I am reading the report of the county management committee, and this is what you are saying you used. And you have the ones who have indicated under monitoring, evaluation, and reporting, priority action, project name, financial year 2024-2025, project cost 3.918 million for 8 laptops and 1 digital camera.
These ones were not part of the admin cost.
They were under which budget?
The CCI's grant.
I think,
so
I think
SCCI grant. About how much would the 1 laptop cost to come to that 3 point something? But anyway, I think that's the part the committee will be looking into the details of now those ones. I still want to go to administrative cost, and I would just want to put it this way: from where we sit, there is requirement that you can only spend 4% of the administrative cost. Do you spend money because it is there or because there's a need? Because because you have 11 million that has been provided in a different format, you have 2 million you have provided within the budget yourselves, and then now there is 6 million which you say that you have now what's supposed to be 4%. Do you spend it because it's available, or do you spend it because there's need?
The money is spent based on the approved work plan.
Among them is a meeting held in June, which June 25th, in which Jane Mathoni, so the 3 people we have agreed have since been sacked, and we have paid allowances and they signed. You called people you have sacked to come and sit in your meeting.
By June 25th, their term had not expired. It expired in August.
In August.
Yes.
You're saying the term expired in August. The committee attendance register for that meeting that was held at Jambini ATC for the 25th and 26th of June. The person who attended on behalf of the women was Elizabeth Wanjira. Then on the county youth was Collins Kinana. That was on 25th and 26th. On 27th of the same month and 28th of the same month, the person who attended as the county women rep was Lydia Geturo. So at what point did she attend as the county women rep? Yet you're saying the term expired in August.
Honorable member, we have 2 committees. We have the planning committee and the steering committee. Lydia is in the planning committee. Elizabeth Wajira is in the steering committee.
Through the chair, as we look to probably proceed from this point, I still would request the chief to finalize on the issues she was talking about, the regulations 2024. There was something interesting she was saying. But I want to bring to the attention of this committee and this sitting that donor funds have conditions. There is what we call the county contribution and the donor fund contribution. I'm aware the county contributed money towards the FROCA program, and equally the World Bank also provided resources to this. When that fund is looked at, it is looked at one fund. And I see the fund manager, chief, trying to explain to us and the regulations are being applicable to part of the fund, separate from the other fund. And I also want to bring to your attention mismanagement of a donor-funded program that is conditional, such as this, leads to one thing, disqualification. And I want to bring to your attention that Kajiado has just been kicked out of FROCA funding. The regulations are very clear, they have to be adhered to. I'm also aware that in your own submission that you admit that you spent 16,542 to implement 60 million budgets, which is what the Honorable Bishop is talking about. In your own admission. And that mathematically translates to what the Auditor General captures as 27%. I'm aware that you also said that what you expended under the other fund is 3 point something percent. Right? So by all means, whether the money was expended in whatever manner has to be in conformity with the regulations as provided. And having said that as an observation, which is a matter that the committee will sit down and agree moving forward, probably the chair could proceed and allow the chief to say what she was saying about the regulation 2024, which initially you did admit they don't exist. Kindly.
Thank you, through the chair. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for that. I was just clarifying the reference with which the auditor, had given in regard to 2024, and I want to note that the same had not been gazetted or approved by the time. So what had been provided was the 2025-21, which was giving reference to in terms of where the 9.2 was being quoted from. It was 2021. However, having said that, In regards to the donor conditions, indeed, it's a matter.
Please, before you leave there,
Just confirm that, assuming that you even separate, did you spend 4% of what you have separated? How much did you spend of the 60 million that was for environment?
It should be 3 something.
But ordinarily, what would it have come to?
It was about 3.2. Sorry?
You spent 3.2, but ordinarily it would have come to 2.412. So you're still, even if you have to use the explanation you were saying, you still have moved way by about, you've said 3.2, and the direct calculation of 4% of 60 million is 2,412,000.
Right. What I'm saying is that there are two levels of funds here.
No, I am agreeing on the two levels of funding.
Yeah.
I want you to constrain yourself to 4% of this administrative cost for purposes of the development. I have moved away from the other section of whether it is an investment or whether there is other standalone money that you've been given. If you spend 3.2 million, would that be equivalent to 4% of the development funding, which was 60 million? The answer is no. I think for purposes of moving forward, it should be noted the following. I'm sure I heard that you people are good in following the law. I know you know of Article 226. 226 subsection 5, it is in the Constitution. It talks about when an officer who is in charge of a fund or in charge of resources, in this case the fund manager and the CEOs, knowingly allows, whether it is a political office or not, direct or approves misuse of public funds. That is contrary to the law. That's what's actually in the circumstances. The manager was breach of law, that is what the auditor says. But there is specification of 226.5, Article 226.5, that clarifies that there is personal liability. Personal liability means that the moment an officer allows public money to be spent outside, that person takes personal responsibility under Article 226.5, and there is something called make good for the loss. Sure, the accountant knows that part. Make good for the loss. You know what it means in law? These are things that when you are not thinking. Make good for loss is the principle of law that says that an officer who allows misuse of public funds takes the electoral responsibility and shall refund the same amount of money spent from her or his own personal sources. It should be read together with the Public Finance Manager Act 196 all the way to 204, which now brings the criminality on the matter, and of course the committee should consider specifically number 2, which says that if it is disqualified, whoever is responsible, he should be disqualified from holding any public office for the next 10 years. I think we can close that matter at that. We leave it to the committee.
The CEO or the fund manager has some views.
No, thank you, Chair. I'm aware of that provision, but maybe just to clarify, I was talking about the 16 million. It's good that because I have the breakdown by you. The 11 million, which was the CCAS, 2 million, which was the county contribution, and the 1.234, which was a balance brought forward from the previous financial year, which was also part of the CCAS that was actually used for an EIA, environmental impact assessment. So the amount that was actually paid out from the CCRIG, that is the admin cost, was about 2.268.
That's okay, you will provide
Before
before you leave that, Chair, I'm having a problem. When you have money you have it or it is need driven. Because the regulation should apply in totality to the fund, whether it's county contribution or the donor funding. But for you to appear to be disaggregating that fund, so that some of the fund apply, the regulations apply to some of the fund, and the other money does not apply to the regulations, is where I'm having a disconnect. I would rather you tell me verbatim what was used in the administrative cost in totality in regard to the FLOCA fund. The regulations apply to them fully. But to disaggregate that so that some of the money is spent under the regulations and the other money is spent without the regulation is where I personally find a problem. And that's my concern, Chief.
I think what we need to note is that there is that disconnect, but of course you have time between now and how much time before we do the report? We have about 7 days, between now and 7 days, to put up paperwork that try to clarify that. It will be assisting the committee.
Chair, as you summarize kindly, would Chief confirm that you spent over 5 million for the committee meetings? You spent around 5 million for the committee meetings. For the ward, the 250, is it 250? Ward committee member meetings?
Yes.
Then how much money did you use for stakeholder meetings? Other than those ones, the other stakeholders that you have met? Because you have had other meetings other than the ones for the ward committees.
Director?
We had other stakeholders, like the assembly committees, so there was some amount used on them.
I'm just saying, all those other stakeholders, other than the ward committee members, all other stakeholders, your planning committees, the committees with the other stakeholders, all of them in totality, around how much money?
No, we can't say off it.
Again,
but I know we use some funds
again,
on-
Director, you prepared this report. You have, for example, you have attached training documents for senior management course at a cost of 400,000. 13 climate change steering committee members at 483. So I'm just saying all those other monies, it's around how much?
Coming at around 3 million.
So we can safely assume that we've spent 10 million or 9 million on meetings alone.
Not really meeting, but capacity building.
Is it meetings?
Capacity building workshops.
And in these, are the workshops meetings or are workshops? Do you meet for this capacity building?
Those are not actually meetings, eh? Those are workshops.
So whichever way you want to phrase it. So we have spent over 9 million of the total money on workshops alone.
Yes, that was for the CCS grant.
Okay.
Maybe through the chair is that maybe we should discriminate the institutional support money, which was supposed to empower our county and our ward committees, the steering and planning committee, to be able to manage this fund, the 11 million. So there is institution support and there is administrative costs.
Chair,
Chair, my only worry is whether the Waziri and his department, you are doing within the caveat of the law. And probably that's what has been said about 7 days. Just give us the overview of what you have spent the money within the law. You may not be able to dwell much on the administrative matter, but have you spent 4% percent as per the administration stated? The grant that you purport, the 11 million that you have used, why are you doing it within the law, within the regulation?
You're guided.
Still, Waziri, as you answer him, still answer this question number 3. If 11 million was not administrative, how was it reflected under the administration cost?
Director, you can see that.
Yes, the accountant wants to step in and assist.
Thank you so much. The template that is provided by PSSB on reporting for financial statement does not gives us how we are supposed to report. So in this case, this administrative cost is captured under use of goods. So that is why it is there. Thank you.
Maybe if I rephrase so that we can make progress. Do you consider that all monies that have been received by this fund are under one fund? The 2 million that was a contribution by the county, is it money under the fund?
Yes, it is under FLOCA.
It is. The money allocated, the 11 million, is it money under the fund?
That is true.
The money allocated for purposes of development and investments, are they all money under the fund?
That is true.
Do we have two standards of regulations in relationship to administrative costs of all the monies in the fund? What is the name of the regulation fund, assuming it were there? It is the Counter Climate Change Regulation Fund. So why are we separating at some stage on what is being referred to as an administrative cost? So that we don't belabor, I think the direction we had given is that if there is any other matter you think you need to clarify better than the way we have clarified for now, you have room to do that between now and the next 7 days before the report is finalized.
Through the chair, sorry, not to take us back, but it's also a request maybe to the Assembly in regards to whatever the amendment of the regulation is ongoing. Because what you find is that Nyandarua County Climate Change Fund may have, different sources that you can get funds from, one of which largely has been FLOCA. FLOCA has its own, program operations manual and grant manual. So you find that if it is a prescription of what goes to their demean, which they say is a demean, and of course they are eligible activities that are under their demean, they talk about the 5% of, the budget, not the expenditure. So what is currently ongoing, which I'm now saying that it's also a request, it's in terms of now the amendment of the fund, which we're also looking at it in terms of, do we talk about the expenditure or do we talk about the the budget, sorry?
Is that recommendation amended as at the time of the reporting of this financial year? Is that amendment effective?
Not yet.
Can it apply to this financial statement?
It's a submission I was making forward-looking, not retrogressively. Yeah.
I am agreeing with your part on that, but let us constrain ourselves to the business of the day, which
sure.
is the financial statements.
But Chair, even as you disappear from that, it is captured by the OAG. The regulations is referring to 2024. So it's part of this business. But what I find as a paradox is that one team admits the existence of the fund. The chief officer says they are there. It's only that they are at different levels of approval. I find that a bit strange that some of the team members, including the director, is not aware. And this is captured by the Hansard. I don't know what to say, but like you say, maybe we could proceed and provide them enough time to respond further to this matter.
I think we can address ourselves to the audit question on the budget control and performance. And I would just want to concentrate on the specific part of the fact that you got 196,587,952. By closure of the financial year, you had only spent 60,319,109. Can you confirm the equivalent of the current expenditure preposition which you had spent by the close of the financial year?
Director.
Come again, please.
You had 186 million to spend on development. You spent 60 million. The unspent balance is about 58%. I want you to confirm for me how much money you had in current expenditure and how much money you had spent by the closure of the financial year.
We spent the 16 million in terms of use of goods. And 43 in terms of investment.
What was the total available to spend?
186 million.
The current expenditure?
No, total budget.
No, I want the total amounts of money that were current in nature and the absorption of that money that was current in nature, including now this contentious administrative cost. Let me rephrase. Of the one you are admitting that should be the correct figure for 4% of this 60, did you spend all of it? Do you have balances? Like what was the percentage of usage?
On the current, we had the 11 million, the 2 million, and the carry forward of 1 million, giving us around 14 million to that 4. Then we had the admin cost for the CCRI of around 4.4 million. That one gives us around 20 million, 18.
How much did you spend before the closure of the financial year?
16 million.
What percentage would be that of the balance? I want the balance. As you struggle with the question, and I think I am okay with you not answering, what occasion this directive? I think this is directed to you. How is it that you procured for works with the 186 and only procured 60? I can see your response talking about lanes. How many programs were dependent on lanes and because there was so much lanes, you could not do them?
Actually, we procured works around 92 million. Most of those works were intake and bores.
How many intakes?
Yeah, and the bores, we had one intake, and 4 bores.
How much was that one intake?
The Njabini control was 21 million. 19 million.
How much was going to the intake and how much was going to other works?
The intake was going around, I can't really remember off a day, but around 4 million.
I'm trying to look at which are these works that could genuinely be affected by the rains.
So there was that intake, then there was the
How-
bores.
How does rain affect sinking of a borehole?
The machines could not assess the sites. You remember that year there was a lot of rains.
How
The
long
mach-
did it take you to procure?
We procured early enough in September.
Waziri, do you consider FROCA money public money?
Yes, I consider it.
Does it go through the same processes as all the other public money?
Yes.
Is there a difference between when you're procuring a borehole for FROCA and a borehole for monies that have been given to you through the county government?
There is none, only that in FLOCA it has to be open tender, whereas county government sometimes they go to RFQ, but FLOCA it has to be open tender.
In terms of conditions of tender, do you have special conditions that are attributed to projects that are related to FROCA?
No, they abide by the normal laws of contract.
Do you have instances when, even when a procurement rule requires you to have specific contract conditions, you exempt them?
In this particular case, yes, where the rain stopped the works.
No, I'm saying in terms of contract conditions, like say for example, a contract condition that you need to provide a certificate for IPRA in terms of a borehole that you need to construct, in the way you want to present a question of a water certificate which needs to be provided, which is a requirement of law in public procurement. Do you have situations where because you're using normal public money, you don't put those conditions in the contract?
No, it's not allowed.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have you contracted before without those conditions?
FLOCA projects, excuse me.
No, I ask first, do we have a difference between money that is from FROCA and is now be considered special and from the money provided by government the normal way? You said no. Yes. So it is not a question of whether FROCA or the other projects.
They follow the protocols for procurement.
You can confirm that?
Yes.
That all boreholes that have been sunk in this county using public money have required that you provide a certificate of IPRA and a certificate of water something sector, water license. You can confirm that.
I can confirm that, although I thought we are confining ourselves to FLOCA today.
No, it's a broad-based question.
It's a general question.
It's a general question. I just confirm that between the time you came in and now, there is all the projects that have been procured that involve boreholes. All of them have required that you provide a certificate of energy regulation something, and the certificate from Ministry of Water, the certificate for water sector.
That is true.
Let it be recorded that on record that Waziri on oath confirms that procurement and especially boreholes has been fair enough. Would you by any chance know how many local contractors have the water license? About how many? Procurement? Do you have procurement people?
We don't have one here, but it's difficult for me to.
You don't know
address.
by chance. I will. I'll be exploring the question on whether that the delay in procurement is also questioned by unreasonable conditions, which most of the contractors locally are unable to meet, of course, for obvious reasons. I had requested, but this is not purposes of record, I had requested to be provided with a tender document for Gishigirira, which I was not given, and I don't think that is okay. Do you think it is fair for the people who are unable to get services for which they should have gotten because you only managed to spend 60 million? We are in February now. Have now the projects which were procured worth 90 million, have they started to be in use? At least the one for engineer, I can tell you it's not in use now 9 months later. What do you have to say about it?
Some are in use, like Gadriga is in use. We have Mechore, they are in use. Jabini, Guatanero, we have Boyo pipeline, quite a number. The biogas at Gadanje, quite a good number are in use, except a few cases like Linde, where we had even to give a letter to the contractor to speed up his activities.
There is a legal requirement that if a contract is to be extended, that there is a written. Can we get today the copies of the extensions which you allowed the contractors? Are they available?
Director, can you confirm that?
I think we submitted the extensions.
You think?
And they're in those files.
Think?
They should be part of the annexes.
Clerkship, can you confirm that those extensions are there? Have you also satisfied yourself with the performance boards of the contracts which you have extended and that they are valid? Have you satisfied yourself?
Director, you can answer that.
Those are which are not valid. Is only, I think now is the Vindi which we are handling. All the others have been completed and in the process of payment. And they are within the timelines based on the requested extensions.
You've satisfied yourself that the performance board is in place and that the government is not in any manner endangered?
Don't think whether the government is in any manner endangered, because like Vindi is almost now 90% complete. I actually engaged the contractor yesterday to go and connect the pipes and the people can start using the water.
Who takes responsibility when service is not provided within the time? Yes, exactly. Let them answer that, then you can come in. Of course, it's the policy holder. I mean, it's the Waziri. When is the last time, Waziri, did you find it uncomfortable that a project is running for 10 months from the date of inception?
Yeah, we've had a few cases, very few cases, but I can say most of them have been running well. Thide is one of them. It was not moving as per the work plan. I have another one at Nyakanja in Oljolorok, although that is one is not for Floka. The isolated cases.
You can allow the clerk 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. You have requested me to confirm whether the contract extensions are in the file as submitted by the director. And we have Annex 2 indicated as contract extensions, but in the letters that have been attached, we have 3 letters. We have a letter from Babuya Investment, from VJ Limited, and from Jackie Daniel Enterprises. And these letters have been written to the Chief Officer, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, requesting for extension of time for completion of the projects. But I do not see in this file any response, any letter written to the contractors indicating that the same has been granted. Thank you, Chair.
What do you comment?
Probably it was an oversight, but there must have been a communication, and Director, I feel that communication can be got from the department.
Waziri, Waziri, don't have to answer. We know what is going to happen. Waziri is going to get to office quickly, write a letter, sign it, those dates, and you have no way of saying that it was not there, so it's neither here nor there. So I think members, if there is anybody who would want to add something, I think I left it from there.
Yeah, just further information on the letters. For Vijay Limited, the letter is dated 8th May 2025, and we are considering the report for 2024-2025. So, and we also have the other letter dated 3rd March 2025, and the other one is dated 31st March 2025. So maybe just for purposes of noting, so that date the information with the responses that will be provided.
Clerk, can you come up again?
I will
And whether there is an issue which you need to be addressed.
the letters written to the contractors, so that we can correlate the dates of your letters and the dates with when the letters were submitted to you. Thank you.
That one is well noted.
Clerk, do you still have something you're studying?
No, Chair. I'm okay.
Members, Wendy? Steve? Mbugu? I'm also okay. I think we can get back to substantive chair for other direction.
Thank you. Okay. I think we have done it well. Although after this, we shall be having a meeting with the Nyandawas after this. So I'll ask Honorable Kengori to escort the executive team out. Kindly, Mr. Kengori.
Chair, before we leave, are we expecting any communication on what we should submit? Or we just submit what has been said here?
Maybe even as the clerk comes, it is only on the question which we have made maybe just then temporary assertion on, which you think you may want to give clarity. Others from where we sit, the response you gave, plus now hearing you, is what is going to determine the way we do our report. So it is you to know whether the questions we have raised, if there is anything you would want to clarify further. But otherwise, as a committee, we are not asking for any further documents. But if you think there is a document that can serve to assist the committee in clarifying a matter, then it is welcome. But as at this point, the committee will just retreat to do its report based on the information that you have already provided.
Okay, it's okay.
For information, we don't boo when the miss is not there, so you don't have to boo.
Chamba. Yeah.
our best.